What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. Gamer's Choice has a huge restock on current and upcoming sealed products. Of course, you can use code What'sGood5 for 5% off. They're already very low prices and support the channel directly. And with that, I want to say my thoughts on current and upcoming sealed. You guys seem to really like that, and I'm gonna break it down. King's Court, I like the gamble a lot. This knocks it down if you're buying a case to just under $60 a box. When you use that code What'sGood5 for 5% off and to support the channel, you divide that by the 12 boxes inside, that's $59.37. With King's Court, there are a lot of unanswered questions, though you are gambling when going in, but not a financial advisor channel. I like to think of opportunity cost. What is the realistic ceiling of this product? What is the potential max ceiling? And where else could I spend my money on sealed right now? And depending on what goes right or wrong with King's Court, it could end up being one of the best sets of pretty much the entire year for going in sealed. Look at Toon Chaos and the TCG office getting to actually pick some of those collector rare choices. You have heavy emphasis on the God cards. What could be imported to support Legendary Duelist Season 2? Will Utopic F-Zero Future Dragon be in there for Lightning Overdrive? There are so many things that could go right, including the archetype itself being hyped like it's Theseus, though, so not the most confidence in Konami, but I like that gamble versus, say, even Lightning Overdrive here. Limit one case per customer, and even though you are seeing limits on sites like both this and Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily, which I believe both sites are right around $52 a box, so if you're going for multiple cases, do listen to this. Yes, Black Rose Dragon is a Starlight rare, but that is 1 in every 10 cases, because a Starlight rare is 1 per every 2 cases, and you have 5 different Starlights. So unless something's weird with the ratios that somehow supports Black Rose Dragon being pulled, you're looking at 1 in every 10 cases. You do break down this price point, though. You use code What'sGood5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly. Divided by the 12 boxes, $51.85. That sounds like a pretty good price point, and even if it's like Chaos Impact, long term it could do very well. I'm gonna have an in-depth talk on Starlights within this market watch also, but you want to think again opportunity cost. Where could you make your money flip for you in the time you might wait for that to pan out? Diviner of Heralds is freaking awesome. I think pre-sellers and early sellers will make very well off of stuff like the ultra rare Trap Tricks, and those might be in demand long term, seeing how Trap Tricks goes with the market. But Lightning Overdrive just feels like it missed the mark with a lot of the rarity spreads. Scrap Raptor is a common. It's awesome for the players, terrible for going in sealed, awesome if you're buying singles. So buy the singles if you're in it for the cards, and even if you're going for investments, I feel like there's other sets such as Legendary Duelist Synchro Storm. This is at $550 thanks to being a duelist pack, and the Ghost Rare is just the cherry on top of the set. All 3 archetypes inside have long-term good potential, and having the Legendary Duelist name, even though it's really just a duelist pack at this point, is awesome for the set, and I really like the price point you can get in on this, rather than necessarily the core set that is Lightning Overdrive. I also like Dawn of Majesty, for example, probably more. Although Black Rose is an awesome chase Starlight that could end up getting a lot of this ripped open later as vendors burn and turn it instead of like waiting like the people at home can. If you don't have an overhead, you can sit and wait. The shops, they've got to make sure to get this off shelves, use it as tournament pricing, get it the heck out so they can get to the next thing. That's why sealed investments are very interesting, but do consider ceilings and opportunity cost. Would you rather go for Lightning Overdrive than Synchro Storm or King's Court? Yes, you know a lot more about Lightning Overdrive than King's Court, but we pretty much know a lot of what's going on in Legendary Duel Synchro Storm besides the Ghost Rare chase, which we've seen with Winged Dragon of Ra even. That doesn't add the most value to a set, but could end up pretty good, especially if it's my theory of Alter Art Ghost Stardust, which is highly unlikely. But yes, consider what you're going in on. Speaking of sales, the Masquerena bundle has sold out multiple times on Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Market. I keep getting them to go back to distro, up their order, and it's still just $34. Code What'sGood5 for 5% off. If you're buying 2 bundles, it is free shipping. That portfolio makes it very hard to ship reasonably, but this bundle is selling a ton to Japan. If they're eating it up off our market like 10,000 Dragon, that's a very bad equation to put together. This is no 10,000 Dragon, but basically it's getting eaten up off of our market to an extent by the Japanese. I think that we will see a lot of them leave our area and then end up harder to get. And look at the Ash Blossom stuff on TCG Player. Not the most available anymore now, is it? I think this will be pretty good long term, but whenever dealing with accessories, sales rates can be wonky and slow, especially later. But the sleeves, I think, are probably the best part of this, then the playmat, then maybe the deck box. The portfolio is not all that much important. Oh man, Tri-Brigade Fractal. So we've seen a lot of different cards end up going up in price thanks to Lightning Overdrive. Oh my gosh, it's here! Bear Bloom, wow, who would have thought? Super rare. Well, the other stuff needs to be more expensive. People go and buy it out. The Tri-Brigade engine is interesting. It bubbles into top cuts. I really do like it. And we see this now around $36, $38 and heading up. This is kind of crazy, but I do think that with Phantom Rage, it was so thirsty for value outside Zeus, and it is so funny to see this actually pass alpha in price. But yeah, if you're going for Tri-Brigade, you're playing in that remote dual YCS or extravaganzas, looks like you're going to be paying extra for the Tri-Brigade engine as you head forward for stuff like Kit and Bear Bloom being oh so cheap for what they are. Spellbook of Fate and other spellbook cards are getting bought out. We talked about Dragon Ruler and Dragon Ruler format tending to go up. Well, people also went after the spellbooks. Fate Ultra Rares are way up there in price. Ultimate Rares, we've seen this buyout before, even to bigger proportions, so this has fallen back down over time. I might wait for it a little, but people really seem to be going after past format cards like never before. And with that, we do see High Priestess of Prophecy also rebought out. The Secret Rares, only 5 listings, 1 near mint, Unlimit 40. First edition, ridiculously priced at $250, but past format Secret Rares have been really going up in price. I could see this easily falling back out to $125, but then will it go under there? Will people want to sell one of the OG waifus of a really big format that people like to play? We'll have to wait and see. Spellbook, the Grand Spellbook Tower. Sorry, I have a ton of tabs and thoughts, so I might stumble a little through this market watch. This card is very low on both of its listings, and it's something I would consider for its first edition. It's been at $18 for a very long time, but its quantities are running out around that price, and actually, there's almost none. So use that TCG Player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly if you are already going to go for it. But the Unlims are still there in a pretty good force, and then you do have the gold rare, which isn't everybody's favorite thing to kind of play with the premium golds, is it? Big Eye Secret Rares have also started to go after the ultimate rare buyout to ridiculous proportions. The first editions are still actually okay available, but very few of them. And just a penny stunk maybe for past formats, Secret Rare Crimson Blader has been bought out multiple times, and the super rare isn't bad to follow, being from tournament packs and Astral Pack 4. 2 penny stonks to maybe have for Dragon Ruler format that both decks do tend to like to play. Collector rares have gone to a weird place, and Ancient Guardians. Snake rank keeps going up. I think Duelist Academy really likes this card, if I'm not mistaken, in the Ogdoadic deck. And then you also do have Trade-In going surprisingly down. Skullmeister now sub 100. Is that the actual price? Yeah, first edition, sub 100 available. And if Skullmeister has a format where it's playable again, you could see it spike. But realistically, how long do you have to sit on this versus other things that are more likely to guarantee themselves going up in time? It's an interesting conversation, as a lot of people don't want to just dip on price on Ancient Guardians or slash it open. With how the ultra rare spread was going, we see a lot more sellers did rip it open. You have 92 listings now on Ogdo Abyss, the Adoadic Overlord, Fossil Facord Fancia, my bad, I got corrected on that. Oops, YouTuber mispronouncing something weird. It's been wavering and going around, but still near 15. Kulia now down under 10, and so many other prices falling. So you see tons more competition on the singles of the set as people get them in hand. You have individual sellers, the big boys finally deciding to burn and turn this a little bit, but the sealed really staying up there around the $60 mark, unlike Genesis Impact, is interesting. Maybe a lot of vendors learned their lesson from Genesis Impact, and you do do have slightly better collector rares in terms of price point at least, and people wanting 3 of them, so that is nice to see an actual little rebate for the people who might have got burned by this set. Ghost rares are actually down in price for a lot of them. You see Firewall Dragon, from Ghost from the Past specifically if you're driving or in your car. We see this is sub 200, which is something I called. I said it might go down to 180 for the cheapest Ghost in the set, and here we are. It's almost 180, and Dark Magician also going down despite the sealed really staying strong where it is, even though you can find displays on a Walmart shelf. So you see $1,000 and then $10.50, $11, then it does go up quickly. There's not the most motivated sellers, and then also with the Ghost rares, people really want to see these in person rather than just buy blind online. Kudos to the people posting really good pictures of their cards to accurately let a buyer know what they're into. But yeah, the wavering prices of Ghosts are interesting, and the competition is so thick on the singles now, from people ripping this open, ripping it open, evenly matches under 15. I believe it's more towards 13 than 12 with shipping. Yeah, it's around $13 still. Unfortunately, not in a structured deck force, but Remus being under $10 is nice, and everything else under 5. If you're after singles in the set, it may really be about time to go in if you want that first edition stamp before Konami weirdly rewaves it, like, oh, Kaiba collection just got rewaved again. That was an interesting call by Konami. It's a major box source, and we'll talk about that. Starlight rares. Simo asked me if I thought that Starlight rares were a good investment, and we had an interesting conversation on it, and I just want to say kind of my piece on this. Whenever you see a Starlight rare buyout, it happens all at once. There's nothing gradual about it. You may see something like Frigette creep up before a major spike, but the major spike is always all at once. It's like 2 or 3 people going the heck in, and then sometimes it sticks, sometimes it falls down slowly, and you usually don't see a great sales rate from that. In fact, you'll see Facebook listings of these Starlight rares $75 off, and nobody bites, nobody goes in, even though they go in on these platforms, because $75 off is usually less than the fees from TCG Player or eBay on the major cards. So like, yeah, I'll put my Masquerena at 1,000. Who's realistically biting on that, even though you see the market price up to $757? That's from the buyout of $600, making it jump to $1,000, and the mid-range Starlights going there. The people invested, of course, get a ton of them. They get to watch the show, they get to list here and there and try to make a sales rate, but it's extremely slow, and it feels forced almost every time one goes up. Remember Zeus starting out at 300 and people not biting? I remember that. It's very weird how this market works, and it feels like injections of cash, and yes, you definitely can make a sale off of, you know, the panic buyers after the big spike and listing yours within that range, forcing people to take them off the market along with it. There's money to be made, but be aware of how the buyouts actually work when they're going in. Like Chamber Dragon Maid, it sat at 225 when the secret rare hit 75 for like 2 weeks while I was screaming, I hate bringing Dragon Maids on the market watch, they're my eternal rival, but I actually think this is a good buy, and it just sat there and sat there for a good 2 weeks till somebody finally Thanos snapped it. It's stuff like that that really makes me think. You either see it flop back down, or you see it not really stick, and you see sales rates are pretty bad. That Starlight investing you should be extremely careful with, and it does feel like a forced market most of the time, but they are still extremely rare at 1 per every 2 cases, and then having 5 different per set. So definitively, certain ones are good for, but you saw Win stay at $800 for like a really good chunk of time, like 6 months, and then finally dip down, and then finally get bought out. Like, you could be waiting a very long time to hope to make your sale, and then take massive fees on a platform for it to sell. A case in point, 10,000 Dragon, now creeping back down. Yes, 2K is unfortunately creeping back down. It was bought out to $2,500 plus, and with that, you see, like, people start to finally go for it, but it sat at $1,250 for a good 8 months. That's crazy to just sit on the card hoping it'll finally sell. And then what did you make at $1,250? You probably pulled it or spent $900, and then the fees, you didn't make the most. Like, I really think that with cards like this, that it's usually when it goes up, it's all at once and it's forced. You can make money playing that game, but it's a dangerous game to play, even if it seems guaranteed from how often it does happen. And the low-end Starlights, they're still trying to hang in there. People don't let them hit down under 100, but they've started to hit under 150 150 again, which long term, how will the bad Starlights perform? That'll be interesting to watch, as each core set brings 5 more, 20 a year. Any side set that does it puts more in there. It'll be super interesting to watch that super long term. But yeah, that market is one I personally don't want to mess with because of how much cash gets injected by only a couple of people when it's happening. Legendary Collection Kaiba did get a rewave. It's on Walmart shelves, it seems, for the most part. I haven't heard of elsewhere, but major retailers should be putting it on shelves like Target. If Walmart's getting it, well, if Target's going to put out the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and if your Walmart puts out Yu-Gi-Oh cards in your area. But I digress. That's why you're seeing it suddenly fall from 90 to 60. People are trying to make the free double up by getting it off the shelf and reselling it. And that's why there's so many more sellers all of a sudden. They don't want to take under that double up, and then fees will cut into that, of course, and then shipping is pretty big on it. But people definitely want to make that sale. And I saw a 6969 nice. Say hello to Market Watch. But yeah, I really do think with the set, it's not worth busting open. A lot of people are, however, doing that because they remember this is their first set. I know, actually, I talked to Crush Cards. They said this was their first set that they did open. And then you have so many other people after this just to enjoy the nostalgia of having that. And that's why they disappear at 30 bucks. I'll have some fun. Maybe I'll pull Delinquent Duo. But look, you're not even getting the $30 back off a single card, which does mark that this doesn't have the most demand in it. You get close. I think keeping it sealed is probably the right call. You'll see this price probably go down even further with more competition, as actually that was a more recent tab, right? Like if we refresh, well, yeah, they're selling. I'm wrong. Well, my bad. Sloppy market man memory. And finally, the Megaton cases have actually gone up even further, either sellers pulling or actual sales happening. But Dragoon's price is going down, so the EVP, estimated value pulled, for certain singles has been going up besides Dragoon. And Dragoon's slowly going down. A lot of people ask me what I would do with Dragoon. I just see a reprint coming somewhere at some point. Konami's been very fast with their Megaton promo reprints, and I feel like they'll treat this promo-esque even though it wasn't. So I could see them 2021 Megatons. Now you can get it Secret Rare and Millennium Rare or something like that. Or it could be in King's Court Collector Rare. I could see them putting it a lot of different places, and with that potential and possibility, I see them cashing in on it at some point. OTS Ultimate Rare would be pretty cool, even though that wouldn't bring the price down. Would be awesome, but it keeps going down, even being featured forever as like the front page of TCG Player. It's been here for freaking ages and being pushed. Like, TCG Player really doesn't change that section for Yu-Gi-Oh! All that much, but it's not like a couple motivated sellers. It really has gone down that $5 for the most part, and I personally would be selling. That's what I would do if I had extra Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. But if it's in your deck, it's the crutch that your deck lies on, and you've been playing it, yes, it's an insanely powerful card, and I understand that, then you're stuck with it. That being said, thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Sorry to run so long, but I truly enjoy these more in-depth conversations such as Sealed and Starlights, and I hope you enjoy your day. Seriously, have a good one, and I'll see you guys on the live stream tonight at 7 o'clock Central if you're joining. Thanks.